and thanks for joining us again on Studio 122. I'm your host, Vicki Christopher, and right now we are going to be talking with Jeff and Chad about the upcoming play, and it is Breaking Up is Hard to Do. So, can you tell us your last name, Jeff? So that way,
Jeffrey Sturl.
Because you're going to be famous one day, right?
Say
yes. And Chad, you're also joining us, and you're an undergraduate,
Yes,
and you're a grad student, actually, right? Okay, and Chad, you can tell us your last name too, just in case there's any ladies listening.
My name is Chad Pope.
All right. Well, first off, I want to touch on the play, of course. What can this play bring to the university that other plays haven't in the past?
Well, one of the things that was discussed last year is that in the past several musicals have been country and western type musicals, and it was kind of, some people really liked it, a lot of them really didn't like that theme. So Jim Anderson decided to go with a 60s musical featuring the music of Neil Sedaka and a 60s rock and roll type of stuff. So it's going to be bringing 60s era music to the university.
Yeah, I think that might be one of those things, like since where we're located, country just seems to be the theme of everything.
Oh, sure.
And so, yeah, like a little rock and roll, that'll kind of, balance it out some. You look like a rocker over there.
Kinda. I get that. I get that a little bit. Just to elaborate a little bit on what Jeff was saying is we want to bring more modern and mainstream musicals to our university. A lot of the times, the musicals that we do aren't really musicals. They're plays with music in them.
Okay.
And that's what we're trying to break into, the more just mainstream musical stuff. We haven't done a major musical production in a few years here, so we're overdue, basically. So.
Well, okay. And so with that said, since we know it's going to be a musical, can you tell us what the storyline of the play is, actually?
There's a number of storylines. There's
the main
six.
storyline.
In all honesty, they really are.
I can already tell Jeff's going to give me trouble.
Well, he's kind of right here, is that there's no one main focus on the storyline. There are three storylines that are interwoven throughout the entire thing, and they kind of culminate at the end for one big grand finale. It basically revolves around the club, which is called Esther's Paradise, in the Catskills of New York, and upstate, and it just follows the storyline of this distraught woman by the name of Marge, who was stood up at the altar, and her honeymoon, she was supposed to go to this resort because it was already bought and paid for. Since her fiancé, soon-to-be husband, ran out on her, she brought her best friend Lois along with her to, kind of forget him and just go along with their lives.
That's what we ladies do.
Right. So, but in the process, a lot of things start to happen. While trying to forget her old love, she rekindles it with a new love, and he turns out to be a scumbag, and I play the nerdy kind of shy guy who admires her from afar, and she finally realizes that, he is the one that is really in love with her and the right person. At the same time, I'll let Jeff elaborate on his part of the storyline here.
My character is, he's an older guy who's been working at this same club for years and years and years and years, and eventually he finally realizes that he and Esther, the lady that owns the place, he loves her. And eventually they fall in love and end up together at the end of the show.
Okay, well, I feel so special to be sitting next to both of you. And you don't seem that shy in real life, so.
No.
Like ladies. You probably have somebody, I don't know. Okay, well, since you told me a little bit about the main characters, what are some of the things that you've seen the other actors and yourself, what have y'all had to do to prepare for these roles?
Lots of dancing.
Lots of dancing?
Lots of dancing. There's a lot of singing. The songs, particularly in this era, in the 60s, are really hard compared to the modern songs we have today. For me, I'm a baritone singer naturally, but I'm singing a tenor part in the show, so I've had to adjust myself in that retrospect, as well as a lot of the songs you hear in that era, the men sing falsetto, which means that they're singing in a high-pitched voice that's not a real singing voice. And that's a big challenge right there, as well as trying to sing with a dialect as well. Because we're doing the New York, it's not to that extent, but, we got to talk like this, and you got to sing like this too. It's a big challenge. It really is.
Have you had the same? You've obviously experienced
Yeah.
the same. Have y'all lost your voices? I feel like I've lost mine. I'm not singing.
Come close a couple of times.
Really?
Yep.
What do you do in your daily lives that it would actually affect that you lost your voice during theater? Do you have? I'm guessing you have real jobs, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I teach a couple of speech courses.
Oh,
So if
you're done.
my students would probably love it if I lost my voice.
Yay!
Shut up now.
I work here in the scene shop, and we work with a lot of, materials, carpentry-wise, and I have to protect myself from inhaling a lot of chemicals or dust and stuff like that could really hurt the vocal cords.
Because our university does not want us to get high.
No.
We do not condone that behavior. All right. When will the play actually be running?
April 24th.
April
Through the
24th.
29th.
Yep,
Through the
24th
29th.
to
And Chad was telling me this is actually your last full-length feature or full-length play for the season.
Yes.
Then you have another play coming up in the summer.
We have a play coming up in the summer that is directed by Dr. Carrie Lee Klipchak. It is called Crimes of the Heart. Crimes of the Heart.
It's actually going to be directed by an alumni named Martin Holden.
Oh, I did not know that. So.
Yep. Unless things have changed and I didn't know about it.
I'm like, don't you be giving me the wrong
But
facts.
you're correct in saying that Breaking Up is Hard to Do is our last main stage production. This is going to be a studio production that'll be held in the Black Box, I believe.
Yes, and I got to see some of the setup today, and you said you actually helped to produce a lot of that. When I met him officially today, he was actually sawing on some. What'd you say it was?
It's just an inch thick foam sheets. They're
Yeah, it
4
was all
by 8.
over his face.
So
I've done that.
Yeah.
I'm actually the set designer as well. So everything that you see on stage, the bandstand, the flats in the background, these palm trees, all of it is going to be that came from my mind. So.
All right, and where did you actually get? You were telling me you got a little bit of inspiration for the set design and stuff because there's only one place that's showing this play right now, correct?
In Branson, Missouri right now, there's a professional production of Breaking Up is Hard to Do, and they run just crazy. It's every night of the week except for Mondays, and on Saturdays and Sundays they do 2, maybe 3 shows a day. Obviously, there's no video of this you can just watch, so I had to YouTube and research. But I got a few ideas from there. I mean, I don't steal anybody's work.
Correct.
Of course. But, and of course from the script, being the set designer, I have to meticulously go through and just dissect the script in its whole. I get a lot of inspiration from actually the actors themselves. I mean, how they react towards each other and the
Jeff,
atmosphere and
inspire,
everything. So.
I try.
Good to know. Well, you theater majors, I know I see you all in the hallways. You're always working so hard. Why would you encourage people? We just have a couple, a little bit longer, a minute longer. Why would you encourage people to come see this show real quick?
Because what you're going to see in this show as opposed to a movie, you're going to be seeing real actors. Not to say that the folks in the movies aren't real. It's just after a movie, you get up from the seat, you go home. Well, after this show, if you could run into us. It's possible you could see us and you could talk to the actors that are in the show. And to me, I like that a lot better. That's a lot cooler to me.
Yeah. Well, like they said, thank you, Jeff and Chad, for joining us. Come support your fellow students and their play. It's Breaking Up is Hard to Do, and it will be coming out soon. So be sure you go and see that. I'm your host, Vicki Christopher. Thanks for joining us on Studio 122.